Hey, I'm Starlight, and this is my review on LEGO Star Wars Set 75405, the Home 1 Starcruiser. This beautiful vessel is the MC-80A, made by the Mon Calamari. It is made with 559 pieces and is rated ages 18 and up. Star Wars Set is part of the Starship Collection subline, and that's honestly probably for the best. As much as I do want a play-scale version of the Home 1 Starcruiser, I feel like this fits the Midi scale / Starship Collection a lot better. The front of the box here is the same as all the other ones in the Starship Collection, with the actual model in the front, the logos on the sides, the black art box, and then also the coloring behind it. In this case, the color is a green color, which I think represents both, yes, the Rebels, but also Star Wars Return of the Jedi, where its main primary color used in advertising was the color of green. The box is pretty much the exact same, just showing the model at a different angle, and then also still having the green hue in the background, the logos, and then the bottom right of it, it has a little size chart of the model, so you know where to put it on your shelf, and then the bottom left, it has a picture of it in Return of the Jedi. Of course, you also have your very annoying thumbtacks that kind of ruin the look of the box, but you know, it's whatever it is. On the sides of the box, you have the Starship Collection with seeing the Home 1 head on. Very cool. Top of the box, nothing really special. You have your little piece size chart, and then the rest of the box doesn't really have anything else. The Star Wars set was also released in 2025 and has a retail price of $70. We'll see if that's actually worth the price. Putting the box, you'll find a total of 5 number bags, surprisingly not paper for mine, your instruction manuals, and surprisingly no sticker sheet. But looking at our instruction manual here, you have some nice head-on version of the Home 1. Very nice. Still the bland white renders though, nothing too crazy. After the Builder app. The next page have some information on the Home 1 Starcruiser. You can pause to read if you need. Very nice view of the Battle of the Second Death Star there. Very cool. Different languages. And then have even, wow, I'm actually very impressed with this. They actually went into detail, it looks like, on the actual MC-80A. Very impressive. Good job, LEGO, doing schematics for the mini scale models. And then you just go straight there. Nothing special there. It's not 25th anniversary or anything, so doesn't need it. But this information is nonetheless really cool. Now, as nice as our box looks, let's see if the set is just as good. Presenting the Rebel Alliance's key flagship, an MC-80 Starcruiser known as the Home 1. In order to hold up your massive Starcruiser, you're going to need a stand, and this stand is just like all the other ones in the Starship Collection. Very nice, keeping that consistency there. The only major difference is going to be the top part where it connects to the actual body of the ship. In this case, it's just studs, so nothing too crazy, but it works. And looking at the front of it here, you have our printed display plaque. Thankfully, it's printed. It has LEGO Star Wars logo, and then also says Home 1 Starcruiser. And you're going to get a quick view of the underside of the ship real quick. Just a little preview there. You can kind of see how it's an all-studded design, and there's a little piece there, a little dark tannish piece. So that'll go right in the middle of the stand, just like so. And of course, you can angle the ship on either way you want to point it, but in this case, I'll do the same way it's on the box. And just like so. It's nice, sturdy, and it's not really going to fall or break or anything. And honestly, it's kind of harder to get off the stand because the black piece kind of comes with it. Can be a little annoying, but at least you know it won't fall off. The design of this ship is amazing, from the curves, the angles, the sloping, the actual overall look, the size of this behemoth. All the little details are actually included. Everything about this set, everything about the design is really good. And generally, I mean that. Not a lot of people are a big fan of the Rebel fleet design, just think it looks ugly, kind of indifferent, especially compared to like an Imperial Star Destroyer or a Republic Venator. But if you're like me and you personally really like the Rebel ship designs and they're unique to their own way, to the Mon Calamari, etc., this is definitely the ship for you, because it gets that down pat almost pretty perfect. So if a system that's made out of just mainly bricks and parts, getting that type of sloping and angling is almost really hard to do, and this designer did it about perfectly, or at least as perfect as you can get it, to get that overall feel and look of it. It already has like so many small details, such as the 10 engines, very accurately represented in their respective spots, different ovalish, circular curves to represent the different parts of the ship, the bubbles or bubble modulars, whatever you want to call them. It even has the Starfleet Command Center, some other small command centers that are also usually quote-unquote detachable ships, And then also you have your main command center where Admiral Ackbar would be. Say the designer did really well of keeping in scale those tiny little details. It's really well done, especially the two hangars on the side. Now this side actually does have the two smaller hangars, which are there. They look really cool. On the other side of the ship, there's actually the main larger hangar where we see the Millennium Falcon, the Tidarium Shuttle, and lots of other starfighters. The thing about the actual nose of the ship is that this front part of it can kind of pop out sometimes. It's not in there connected too strongly, but obviously it's not like gonna fall off or anything. It just kind of goes out of place. But as a set that's more oriented to display, it's not necessarily a big issue. Much as this set is meant to be a display set, which is why it has a display stand, it doesn't necessarily need the stand. This model is really, really cool to play with, I will admit. This is very swooshable, it still flies, and everything else. And also, it's extremely sturdy. Okay, besides the small details, it's extremely sturdy. And when you go to lay it on the ground, the only thing you have to worry about is your little nibble and be frigate. He'll just kind of go upwards. But besides that, it's nice. Coloring on this vessel is also extremely well done, from the actual light bluish gray as the base color, the dark tan, and dark gray, and dark red. Hints that kind of like, you know, it's a ragtag rebel ship. Very well done. You also have little small hints of sand blue as well. The color of both the engines and the hangar base being that light blue also stands out a lot and gives the ship a little bit of color and life to it. There's one part of the ship that I'm not a big fan of the coloring choice of, and that is the black at the start of the engines. The rest of the engine is a dark grayish color, which technically is inaccurate as they are meant to be the same color as the actual ship and are encased in little cells. It's just the black does look a little off-putting. For the rest of the ship's coloring is pretty much exactly perfect. This is the actual overall design of the ship looks. It doesn't really exactly have many features. It does, however, include a little small Nebula MB and has some Easter eggs inside of the ship. Let's talk about our Nebula MB frigate. Honestly, this is a very nice, simple design compared to like how small it is. I'm actually very happy with this. I'm nice that's included, so you can have some quote-unquote scale. It's probably definitely not one-to-one, but at least it's something there, and it looks really cool. Actually, you can actually just use this clear piece here, and it attaches to the bottom half of the ship, just like so, and there you go. They're flying right beside each other. Like I said, this set also has Easter eggs inside of it. Now, obviously, it looks like a very complicated thing to get into, and it's not always something you can easily access to the best. However, these big side panels here with a lot of curves are just attached using snot technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to grab the whole thing here without breaking it off. Yeah, the front part also comes too, so be careful of that. It just comes off like so, and that reveals our entire interior. Honestly, has a lot more quote-unquote interior than you might think, and I'm happy with that. I'm glad that they actually use the available space, as it's not really going to impact the actual overall structure. We actually get into the actual different sections here. I'm going to talk about the overall look. I really like the translucent blue as like kind of indicating hangar bay, so you can kind of view inside of it. I really like that aspect. However, as much as I like finding the pink bricks in every single Lego Star Wars set, or I think it's every Star Wars, I mean, just every set in general, but I'm not a big fan of the pink there. Like, I'm glad it's there, but just like when you look inside the little quote-unquote hangars, you can also see the pink, and it kind of messes with you a little bit. But I'm glad that they found a spot to include it. At the front of the ship here, you have Admiral Ackbar on his chair. Very nice. It's simple. Wish there was a little bit more there, but at least he's included. The middle section is the largest of the three sections, having two of the glass things instead of just the one. It includes a Green Squadron A-Wing. Very nice, mostly to represent our next Easter egg here, to kind of represent our bridge area, included with Harrison Dula, and the instructions it says they're talking about Morgan Elsbeth, which is alluding to the Ahsoka show, which we actually do see the home one in. I'm assuming the other character is meant to represent Ahsoka. I don't really see it, but, you know, it's kind of hard to do with three studs anyways, but at least you can tell Harrison Dula is Harrison Dula, and you also have a very nice hollow table there. Close it up, quite simple. Also, there's only one side of the ship that you can actually access, is the other side. It just has white panels, so you can take off the other side of the ship. It just is only white, though, so I wouldn't advise doing that. However, just putting this back on is just same way we can. Be careful this back section here, as these two slopes actually tuck inside there, and that's why there's an open gap. Another very, very cool technique to get those slopes. And once you eventually line it up, just like so, press on it, and it'll be nice and sturdy. Just in case you're wondering what the underside of the ship looked like, it's a very nice slope design. It's not like super duper well done, but at least they put some slopes there so you get the general idea of what it's meant to be. And also you can see what I mean by the black piece just sticking to the bottom. It's a pain in the butt to get off. Honestly, I'd give this set about a 9 out of 10, even with its $70 price tag. Obviously, I bought mine for about 55 or 50, so I can definitely say buy the set for that price. 70 though, it gets to be a little weary, but for as big and how awesome this model looks, I'd still buy it for 70. And it definitely deserves the 9 out of 10 as it's actually representing what it's meant to be, a Home 1 Mon Calamari Starcruiser. And it is exactly that, and the sloping is really well done. The coloring is really well done. The little details, such as the bridges, the engines, and then the hangar base are all really cool and well done. So no complaints there. And you get a little Nevalon B frigate to go along with it. Now this ship is gonna look amazing on shelves, so I can't wait to put it on there. And I definitely recommend this set. So if you don't have it yet, definitely get it before it retires. Even for the $70 price tag, but do definitely get it for like 50 or 55. That's definitely gonna be your 10 out of 10 spot. Alright, let's end this beautiful review on this awesome looking ship. Starlight Bricks out.